down to the dent.
Yeah, that's the down view on our living room, and Aaron and I were working together for the first time, sitting quietly in our arching Edith chairs, which was actually pretty cool, and she was very generous of her space while she built my Wolverine wig, and I cut out some pipe, did some sanding for the next round of gloves to get on the table. I've got quite a few things going on right now, and I thought it'd be a nice quick break focus to show something I don't usually get to do, which is I'm building for my last clients, everybody knows that, and I'm shipping one out this week to Congroy, who's been waiting for one of my long outstandings, which is the Becker Clone, as I like to call it, Mike Becker. Or the glove as it looks today, or as it appears today. And, you know, that's pretty famous by this point. This is how the glove looks today. And this is my Becker Clone. Becker being because Mike Becker, that guy on the t-shirt, owns it. So, barring ninja assassin infiltration of Mike's house, I do my best and make do with what I have, which is materials, the wherewithal, the know-how, and owed clients. Let's get to it. So on the table is a lot of the armatures I'm working on right now, and let's just get to it. I want to talk about blades really quick, and these are going to be Congroy's blades for his Becker Clone. This is my Becker Clone, and Congroy's Becker Clone is behind me and will be making an appearance pretty soon. In fact, could feasibly start seeing it tonight. At least the pre-weathered version, because I'm going to be finishing up the weathering tomorrow and Tuesday to get it to him for his convention, which is on the 8th, and he's taking his Becker Clone to, I guess, see Robert Englund. Last time ever in makeup. Anyway, so I'm getting Congroy's glove ready for him, and the blades are one of the last things I do because they're just such a nightmare. Such a nightmare. Ba-dum-bum. No love. Yeah, anyway, I'm just, you know, come on, you guys, you know, I'm being cheeky, and I don't know what that is, but we're going to pretend nothing happened. Why is my camera going in and out? There we go. So, on the table, what's on the table? Well, let's take a look. These are my notch copies, and I call them my notch copies because all these 4 blades are my masters for my Part 1. And my Part 1s use Chris Grantner's P210 exact replica blades. This is one of my, like I said, it's my notch copy. It's a little dinged up, but it's still pretty pristine and gorgeous. But I wanted to show you comparatively to what I'm working on now. I've got a couple more solution blades over here. I'm not going to tell you what I do to my blades to get them to look as they do in Part 2 and as it looks today, but what I will say is I generally have a lot more fun doing these gloves for a specific reason. It allows me to be an artist. And these blades, everybody knows this, I'm going to give you guys the rundown. For those who don't know, the glove went through many changes. The blades started out pristine, as you saw them, off the shelf, with the original vintage P210 tomato knives. As production from Part 1 wound on, and into Part 2, they changed significantly. The index blade was broken and resoldered, all the tips were blunted off and ground down. By the time it got to 2, the blades had lost a good measure of their actual surface volume. I mean, a lot of people say they were ground down to shit. They really were. So they look really weird and really different. And each blade, they're very, you know, the shaping is basically the same, but they've got their little nuances. And when I set out to do my version of the Becker Clone, which still pretty much holds up even now a few years later, I really nailed the blades. I was really happy with it. But you can see these blunted off edges are really, really severe. And they're really marred. But even here, you know, I mean, they're nice. I wanted to go a little bit further for Congroy and really, you know, not necessarily take artistic license with them, but I wanted to really make them stand out, really pop. So I'm working on his blades, and here they are. And these are his index and middle blades in progress. And when I say in progress, if I can figure out which one's which, yeah. This is going to be the index and it's pre-break, say that 3 times fast, And what that basically means, why is this fucking blurry? There we go. What that basically means is, I haven't broken it yet, but I've set up the brake. It's going to go right there. And you can see a lot of this really nice weathering, which takes a bit of time to get to look just right. You know, I'm trying to make it look 30 years old and also how it did in production. So I've got a little bit of work left to do to it. But what's nice about the Shakespeares, which is what I use on these, is they really pick up, when you do them correctly, they pick up that seam from the bevel, and the bevel is there. And they just look really good. They're the only blades I've ever found that match up in any, you know, way, shape, or form to the originals. So I've got his index, and I've got his, I can see them now, got his index and his middle on the way. And now with the magic of technology, we are just a little bit further along in the process, and the weathering is done. I just have to add the bottom swipe bevels, whatever you want to call them, the little grind that I do on the bottom to give it that little beveling that you see. I've got to do that, and I'll finish up these two blades, but here you go. This is pretty much it. Marred, weathered, and kind of 30 years old compared to how they looked, or would have looked, on top. And I'm actually really happy with them. I think they look great. I know it's really dark in here. Let's see if I can get some better light. There's a true light source. Where is a true light source? What can I do? It's really fucking hard, right? Well, I guess that's about the truest light source we're going to get right now, unless I go downstairs. Let's go downstairs real quick. You know, again, it's like anything with these things. It's light and shadow and how things get picked up. What makes us obsessive? Us being we and me. Let's see. There we go. That's pretty tight. Well, like I said, it's all in the lighting. But here are Congroy's two blades that are all weathered up and nicely prepped for grinding. They look great. I'm really happy with them. They still have that beautiful sheen, but they look like they've been through the mill. All right, my brother, Congroy. I hope you enjoy this as much as I'm enjoying doing it. And catch you guys in a bit.